Hello everyone, it's time for the Banner Press's Coaches Show. My name is Joe Alberico, the sports editor with the Banner Press, and I'm with Brenham High School football coach Eliot Allen. Coach, how are we doing? Big win for you guys last Friday.
Doing well. Just enjoyed the opportunity to finally get a win with these guys, and excited to move on in our season in the district play.
Probably a big one for you, starting 0-2, and you had mentioned Friday that there might be a little pressure sometimes to get that first win. You guys got it in exciting fashion. Kind of tell me how you analyzed that one with a few days to look at the film and then just kind of digest it all.
Well, the biggest thing for me is I'm excited for our kids. I feel like our coaching staff, obviously everybody loves to win. I think our coaching staff understands that it's a process, to get ourselves prepared for a new season with a new coaching staff, a new offense, and a new defense. I was really disappointed for our kids last week in that I felt like they did everything they were supposed to do to prepare. They just weren't provided instant gratification. They went out against Waller, prepared well, and lost. And so I was excited for them to get a win, and it does feel good to to have that one first win. But now we can focus on the real task at hand, and that's to get better each week.
I think you are a big proponent of getting better, and I think your Cubs showed that because the way in which the team did when you were down 12-0, it was 12-6 with about just over 2 minutes left in that fourth quarter, and it wasn't a short field, it wasn't red zone territory. You guys marched 70-something yards down the field with Garrison Weiss. To see you guys get it done that way for a young team, young quarterback, that's got to be big for them.
It's big, and the bottom line is to be honest, I was pleased with our team's toughness, with how we played together as a team. We didn't execute particularly well on either side of the football. We hung in there on defense, sort of like a human punching bag. I think we took 80 snaps defensively. Didn't execute real well on the offensive line this week. But one of our goals coming in to the game was we needed to work on being a great team, and I felt like despite all the adversity, our defense hung in there, our offense, and you mentioned Garrison leading the team down that final drive. We gave ourselves an opportunity to win, and when that opportunity presented itself, our kids took advantage.
You mentioned Garrison, and you're probably going to get tired of me asking you this each week, but is it the plan still to go with two guys? We saw Garrison and Alden. Have you decided to lean one way or the other yet, or you feel like it's still effective to play both guys?
I think at the time being, it's still effective to play both guys. I think one of the things, Alden, they're both good quarterbacks, they're both great leaders. I think you kind of gain something with Garrison being at receiver, at running back, just to have a threat elsewhere. So, we're going to try to put our best 11 on the field at all times, and I think that involves both of them at this point.
Tyree Jackson, your senior running back, comes up with both scores. Were you kind of happy to see a veteran kind of leadership guy like that, kind of take after Anthony Walton's big pass there at the end, he punches in that game winner, and then obviously, your son Hayden Allen with the extra point. I know those guys were pumped up. But to see Tyree come up with those, touchdowns, we're kind of proud to see that guy kind of in that situation take the reins and then get it done for you guys.
I was pleased to, obviously Tyree's, one of our most experienced returners, and he came up in big situations, and that's what you expect out of those guys that have had experience.
You talked about the defense, them pounding you guys a little bit, but you only gave up 12 points, and from a yardage standpoint and scoreboard standpoint, this is their best performance of the season. What did you like about the defense?
Well, I just think they didn't give up a ton of big plays. They sort of kept, and they had some speed on their offensive side of the football. We kept them in front of us by and large, made them execute. They didn't execute, long drives, and that helped us out. But more importantly, I was just pleased with how they kept battling, kept playing the next play, which is always our philosophy, and at the end gave us a chance to be in the game and win it.
And offensively, where do you think the guys are? What's next for them? Still probably hoping to put a few more points on the scoreboard, but after a win like last week, they did show a lot of character and a lot of heart.
Well, the thing that they did is they put points on the board when we needed to. I would prefer to be a lot more consistent. We in the offensive line, and we had some bad snaps, we had some miscues on the perimeter, but ultimately we just have to be more consistent as an offense if we expect to win big.
So, I mean, break it down for me. You got 3 weeks now, and you got this open week. So, what are your biggest takeaways? You've got 3 weeks of football. You're 1-2. Obviously, you know you're going to spend the next 2 weeks getting better and improving. And I guess what's your analysis? You know, if you can put these 3 weeks in a vacuum.
Well, I think, you know, number one, we still have a long way to go with our execution on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game. I think one of the things that, you know, it was good for me to see. I'm brand new here, and getting the opportunity to see our kids compete in a situation like we saw last Friday night. I'm pleased because you can correct mistakes in terms of execution offensively and defensively. It's difficult to correct character and mental toughness and things like that. So I feel good about that piece, and I feel like our team is going to mature and understand that it's a process each week to get better, and I think they've embraced that, and that's what we're looking forward to for district play.
So, you know, now you have 2 weeks before that first district game against Bastrop Cedar Creek. How do you approach these next 2 weeks? I mean, do you spend a week focusing just on your schemes, and then, you know, the next week you'll take care of, you know, the game planning, or do you kind of intermingle the two? I mean, you've got about 14 days or so. So, I mean, how do you kind of handle that?
Well, first off, we were excited to have our win on Friday night, and I spoke to the kids on Friday night. We all had a great time, and then on Saturday morning, when we talked again, when we came back to watch the video, my thing is, you know, that's no different than the week before. I mean, we have to watch the tape. You're never quite as good as you think you are. You're never quite as bad as you think you are, and we're going to get better this week. The one challenge this week is we don't have a game to go out and test, you know, our improvement level. So I'm relying on our team to be mature and our coaches to hammer it in them a bit. But we're going to improve this week. You know, we will look a little bit at what Cedar Creek does, but more than anything else, we're going to work on us. We've got a lot of mistakes we've got to clean up.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks again for joining us this week. Thanks for joining us, folks, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.